my son. So, good morning everybody everywhere. Good afternoon, good evening and good night. Yeah, so first of all, it's just my style nowadays that I don't check any comments or status of the videos that I'm posting on Facebook or on YouTube. This one will go on both. But yes, I do not interact or engage with people online anymore. That's not the reason that I post videos. It's not it's not for that. So leaving a comment or a like would be completely pointless. The only exception that I will make to interact with people about a video is if, for instance, you see this video and you have a question or you have a comment about it, or you want to talk to me about it, or maybe you have some advice that you want to tell me or something. The only exception is if it's in real life, and I meet you in person, and then you said, I saw this, you made that video, and you said blah blah blah, and I have this advice, or I have this question, or I have this comment, whatever. Okay, then it's real, human to human meaning. Or maybe if you just send me a private message, and then something good will come out of it. This is my experience. I've left a video recently about something, also about what I'm going to explain that I went through, and then one of my friends who I hadn't seen in a while saw the video, and then he private messaged me regarding some things that I showed and talked about in the video, because he was interested. And then we met up in real life, and something good came of that, but in my experience, very, very little, if any, good comes from interacting with people online and pleasing algorithms and so forth. It's completely pointless. So I don't check the status of my videos that I post on Facebook or on YouTube or anywhere. I just post it and then let it fly, and that's it. And then people are going to have to either meet me in real life or private message me. That's the only way. Cool. So now that I got that out of the way, it's been about more than 6 months now dealing with a kind of chronic tinnitus and insomnia. Bad, really bad condition. So tinnitus, there's about 30 to 40 different causes. Tinnitus, it's only a condition of it's only a symptom of a specific condition, of the body, okay? Of the body, right? The brain is also the body, so the body. So, there are physical causes of tinnitus, physical reasons, like the eustachian tubes is a common one. If the eustachian tubes get blocked and puts pressure on the inner ear, it can cause ringing and humming and buzzing and whatever noises in the ear or in the brain, sounding like it's coming from the center of the head or from, unilateral or bilateral or whatever. Can be the eustachian tubes. It could just be the earwax, too much earwax built up, building pressure and causing it, or it could be the TMJ, some nerves that get pinched by these joints, and then that causes signals to fire into the auditory cortex or whatever in the brain, or in the inner ear, I don't know, and then you hear sounds. Or it could be those two physical causes. Another physical cause is like maybe you listened to too much loud music when you were young, or you were in a war zone and you had shell shock, a bomb went off or guns were shooting too close to you, and that can cause physical damage to the inner ear structure, and then cause lingering tinnitus. Or it could be there's another couple of things, conditions of the inner ear, like diseases or something one is called Meniere's disease, and the other one is called labyrinthitis. So there's a blood vessel inside the inner ear. It's the smallest one in the body. It's so small that like only one, like it's thinner than a single hair. It's called the labyrinthine artery, and only one blood cell at a time can get through it. So if that has some problems, then there can be a cascade, chain of effects that results in ringing, hearing sounds. But labyrinthitis and Meniere's disease is usually accompanied by vertigo. Okay, it affects your balance. Okay, and in my case, there was no balance, wasn't affected. So these are all physical problems. Okay, eustachian tubes, earwax, TMJ nerve. What else? Damage to the ear from loud music. Labyrinthitis, Meniere's disease. Okay, they're all physical problems. Okay, and the good news is that those are all fairly well understood, and it can generally be treated. Maybe not completely cured, but it can be treated, and people can get some relief, because Western medicine understands physical, biological problems very well. Okay, the type of tinnitus that I have is none of those. It's not a physical tinnitus. It's more something that happened with my nervous system, and my energy system. Okay, meaning the chi, the prana, but these are just labels. What we're talking about is like another label, but the psychosomatic, emotional psychosomatic system. Okay, I give you an example of what is chi, what is prana, what is energy, what I'm talking about. Like if you have an emotion, if you feel some emotion, anger or sadness or joy or whatever, you get very happy, we get very angry, then that will affect the flow. Let me just check. Okay, that will affect the that will cause an effect of your chi, of your prana, of your psychosomatic. Psycho meaning mental, emotional, of the mind, but the body mind. We're not just talking about the brain. We're talking about the connection between the body mind. Okay, emotional, psychosomatic. So it's and on every layer of our physical and psychological, and on every layer of our being, there's a certain circuit of energy that takes a certain amount of time for it to circulate and for it to rebalance after having been disturbed. So if you get angry, that anger will cause physical changes in your body, or that sadness or whatever emotion. Even you read one word, it causes some change. But let's say something stronger like anger, that will cause a change in this psychosomatic state of your body. But that will basically, those circuits of energy, this only takes about an hour for that to circulate. So that will, after an hour, you will relax again. After an hour, you can be relaxed again. You can be back to your baseline again, after having been angry or sad or very laughing hysterically or whatever. So that's all Qigong actually is. That's all Qigong or Neigong. Okay, that's all it is. It's when people do Qigong, or it's in Tai Chi as well. We're not talking about some woo-woo mystical crap. No, we're just talking about this, what I explained. But there are different circuits of energy, and the psychosomatic system is very complex. Just like your different circulatory systems, like the circulatory system of your blood is very complex. The circulatory system of your lymph is very complex. The circulatory system of your nervous system, it's very complex. And so too, the circulatory system of your psychosomatic, chi, your prana, or you can call the vata, V-A-T-A, vata. This is Sanskrit word. It's talking about the winds also. In Sanskrit, prana, it means wind or winds, meaning these circuits of energy. Okay, but it's basically the layer between it's the impulses going through your nervous system, and then getting moving from that substrate to more finer levels. But that is very very complex, and if you just get angry, it only takes about an hour for those changes, and if you get really angry, also your ears will start ringing, or you get really scared or whatever, or some psychosomatic change can cause your ears to start ringing, like that girl who was falsely accused American girl who was in Italy and was falsely accused of being involved with murdering her roommate. When she thought she would, I was falsely accused, no problem, I'll get out of this. But in the end, the court decided that she was guilty. And then when she heard that, she just came to it as a complete shock to her. It caused a change in her psychosomatic system, her chi, her prana, her winds, such that her ears started to ring for a period of time, and then it changed. So that's just one example of something that can happen when your energy system is disordered. We're talking about the nervous system as well, because everything's connected. We're talking about the whole body here, every level of your being. So what I did, I stupidly was doing Qigong. I had been doing Tai Chi, learnt Tai Chi from when I was about 16. I was interested in martial arts when I was young. I started Tai Chi when I was 16. Tai Chi is not very much Qigong in there, but it's mostly just working with, fluid movement and some martial arts in there. But not too much focus on the Qigong. But anyway, I started doing Qigong on my own without any guidance of any instructor or anything. And I was basically doing Neigong, kind of Neigong called Dan Tian Gong, which you're using the subnavel area. Anyway, it's too much to get into, but that felt very strong. I did get quite deep into it and felt quite strong movement of energy inside, and felt quite, I could almost make an electric discharge between my fingers. I could feel it quite strong, and inside and everywhere. And I stupidly, I was doing it every day for a few years, and was building it up. But I was quite stressed at the same time, and so I just kept pushing it, But this is the thing about Neigong. about Qigong. It's very important to have guidance of a teacher and also to be in a very stable life condition to do these things, because, you know, with the simpler circuits of energy, such as that I explained with emotions, anger or fear, whatever, it will only take about, if it gets disordered through extreme anger or fear or hysterical love, whatever, that changes in your body energy, in your mind and your body, it will, those circuits are relatively easy, simple circuits that only takes a few hours or an hour to stabilize again. But when you do Neigong and when you do very deep meditation, you're tapping into the ones which are far deeper in your being and will take a lot longer. If you disorder them somehow, it will take a lot longer to stabilize again. And I was stupidly, drinking coffee and smoking cannabis and a little bit of alcohol here and there for a few years, and trying to make electricity with my body with doing it, and not having the guidance of a master. And obviously that gradually put me out of balance. And the signs were there. I guess slowly insomnia, my sleep was getting worse, I was getting more stressed, and eventually it happened. It was very unsettling thing that happened. There was things that led up to it, but then something happened and it was very unsettling. And long story short, I had to go through a lot of different practitioners. First went the normal Western medicine route. You normally, go to your GP, go to the audiologist to try and see if they could fix it. And then they can't do much except give me some drugs and things to help me sleep, help me calm down. And then, I have to try to find a practitioner that could help. Went to many different acupuncturists, Qigong people, spiritual healers, energy healers a lot. And some of them, they helped me a little bit, but nobody had all the answers, because this is something that, maybe if you're in like Indonesia, or maybe in China somewhere, or in, maybe in India, maybe in Southeast Asia, some places like this, there are people that, it's also very uncommon there. It's a lot of these people are just, there's a lot of frauds, but there are some people who do have, who can help you. But anyway, so definitely in New Zealand there are people here actually. In Auckland, there are, yoga, some quite good yoga practitioners, Tibetan yoga, or some Qigong people perhaps that might be able to help you. Some people doing acupuncture or Tibetan medicine that can help you, but it's very hard to find him. But luckily I found him, so I'm getting some help. So just be careful, man. Don't do what I did. It's probably not worth it. I mean, the only reason the guy that is helping me now is able to help me is because he messed himself up in a similar way, and he had to go through that process to recover and find people to help him, and so he has a pretty good idea of how to, and he put me in touch with other people that could help me and things. So, but after he managed to rebalance his energy system, he basically came back stronger. It made him stronger and more capable even. So Yeah, I guess maybe this is a way to upskill, but it's I don't know if it's worth it, and it's very dangerous. So yeah, long story short, I would just say don't smoke weed and do qigong, or smoke weed and do kundalini yoga, or whatever meditation or energy work. Don't mix drugs with energy work, or psychedelics with energy work. So I would just say don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. I mean, this is just a relatively very difficult to fix, but fixable situation that can happen, like what happened to me, or to the practitioner that's helping me. For example, disordered energy. It can take some time, but it can be fixed. But there are some other problems that probably can't really be fixed. That can happen. I'm basically quite lucky. So, like for example, you may have seen there are some like fossilized, semi-fossilized monks who are sitting there in a meditation, and with their legs in a full lotus position, and sitting there holding some like mudra or something, but they looks like they're dead, but their body is like fossilized in that way. Basically, they're still alive, but they kind of went too deep into this kind of emptiness, or it's kind of like everything slows down and then just stops, kind of like, what do they call that, sub-zero, or 0 point energy, when the energy just stops. And they went too deep into that and basically got stuck in that, like forever. And I don't know if there's anyone on this whole planet that can help them. Like in my case, there are people on this planet that can help you if it's just basic disordered energy. But there are some things that, I don't know if there's anyone on this planet that would be able to help you, because there are some things that can happen with meditation or with qigong, with kundalini, with energy work, that can be like cosmic scale problems that you probably need some guru from some other planet, more evolved society that can help, because there's probably not many people, if anyone, on this planet that could help you if something like that happens. So yes, just be careful, be very careful with things, with energy work, with yoga, with qigong, with meditation. Perhaps just network, find people, find a community and a master and a good lineage that has the connections, so that if something does go wrong, they can help you. So thank you.